Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We are here with a midweek interview / episode, a very special one. We won't put him through the gauntlet of putting him on dos bolas con micrófono, two balls y leal, but we are going to welcome our first three-time undefeated guest of honor. Please welcome the great Andrew Vassiliadis. ¿Cómo estás, Andres? How are you, Andrew?
I'm well. How are you guys? Great to talk to you, Tony and Chiva.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Still okay with the pronunciation of the last name? I always think about that.
No, you're killing it. Killing it.
Vassiliadis. That's
just
rolls off the tongue.
Teach the rest.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, right? And anybody who needs lessons, let us know. We'll make it happen. But again, thank you, Andrew. You are an incredibly busy person. You are the chairman of a professional sports team, so there's that. But also, congratulations, new year, new baby, new job, new everything. How is that going, man?
It's incredible. He's 3 months today, actually. His birthday was October 19th, so January 19th. He's 3 months today, which is crazy to think about. Every time you feel like you've got it figured out, they throw something new at you.
Yeah.
So it's this ebb and flow of like, we got it. No, we don't. We got it. No, we...
The good thing is it's a two-person job too. So, you got that support system. The good thing about 100%. Us and the children that we work and serve is we get to give them back.
Oh yeah.
Here you go.
It's a part-time job for us.
Yeah. But he's sleeping well through the night right now, which is good. I probably just cursed it, but he's great, man. He's great.
No, that's wonderful. And you have pretty much a lot of other children around San Diego, as you are pretty much the papa de San Diego Loyal. You have a lot of pollitos, a lot of people following you, a lot of people that are, wanting to know where the chairman stands with a lot of ongoings with San Diego Loyal. Jeez. But take us through a little bit. We'll just briefly touch on what ended up being last season. So obviously San Antonio happened. You seem to have already a clear path and mindset to where you're going to head into the 2022 season. And you let it be known. You stood on top. I don't even know. I was too far back. Like a barrel, a chair. And
It was a chair
and just held court at Stone with the most diehard of fans, the diehard of fans of your project and your passion project with San Diego Loyal. And you addressed everybody, and you did not hold any punches back. Was that cathartic? Did you plan on that? Did you think that was going to happen? Or just take us into that headspace as far as, game just ended, get me a chair, and it's Andrew Vassiliadis. He's talking to everybody.
No, there was nothing in my mind planned to speak to the crowd, whether that was before, halftime, or after the match. Travis, who we had just recently hired, came up to me and said, "Do you want to speak?" Once I arrived at Stone, he said that we can give you an opportunity to. And I said, I don't think I want to, let's just enjoy the game. And then as the match went on, and as more and more people filled that room and the intensity was going up and you could just see the desire, my wheels started turning, and I'm like, man, there's so many things that I'd like to address to this crowd, especially for the way that they've turned out today. I've said it several times now. One of the pleasures of 2021 has been actually connecting and meeting face-to-face with people. Still hampered a little bit by the virus, but it was much better than it was in 2020. And so, I get snippets of people's times around the stadium. I do interviews with you guys, but that was an opportunity to speak to everybody. There were kids there, families, diehard fans, probably some people who didn't even know what was going on and stumbled upon it. So it was just the right convolence of events coming together. Obviously, I would have rather spoke after that and rallied the crowd and talked about how we're going to be in the next match. But that's not how the game went. So it was very cathartic. You did touch on that. Like, I felt better after I was done with that. It was still, several days before I got over that loss, and watched it back a couple times and, spoke to the coaching staff, and it was a process to get through, but that night and the ability to address the crowd really helped me. And I hope it helped some people kind of see where we're headed, like you said, in 2022, but also understand where we had come from with everything, the challenges that had been presented before us, you know.
And it was great hearing what you have to say after a game like that. At the end of the day, me and Tony, we're both fans of this team, and when we go to a loyal game, we're there to work for for Two Balls on the Mic, and we're there to like record and do everything. At the end of the day, we're fans, and for that game, after that tough loss, like hearing your words did help out. But then moving on from that, like into this new year, into this new season, San Diego Loyal has been dropping a lot of news lately. And even more recent than the branding deal, just today, was it today? I'm pretty sure it was today. San Diego Loyal announced Chavos de Loyal as an official supporters group
that's right.
of the team.
Yes.
So how do you feel about all that? How did that take along? After 2 years of the season, they're finally recognized as an official supporters group. How do you feel about that?
I couldn't be happier. It was not easy for them. I don't want to speak for them at the beginning, but you know, we have certain requirements that we ask the groups to meet in order to be recognized. We love all the supporter groups that are out there. You know, there's the little Liverpool group that sits along the sideline there. But we can't just allow every group to bring a set of drums and, you know, horns, and you need to be recognized by the club. And really what has stood out to me about Chavos, they bring the energy, they bring the drums. It's the work they do in their own community. That's the stuff that gets me the most excited about what they bring to the table as a supporters group. When I saw the skateboard thing, the backpack drive for the school kids, like, I will support that stuff all day long. And I said that to them. I was like, you guys keep doing that work in the community. I'm going to keep supporting you and making sure that those kids have those things that they need. So in stadium, tremendous. But it's really what I've been passionate about with them is what they're doing outside of the stadium as well.
And again, it's great to see them being able to finally get recognized. There's a lot of great work that's happening, as you said, on and off the field, in stadium and out of stadium. And, you know, I know for a fact that everything's going to be taken care of as far as supporters go moving into 2022. But talking about what is the team that they support, a lot of announcements, Chiva.
Yeah, lots of them.
We'll save just the big one for a little bit. As far as player announcements, is there somebody that you yourself, because I know you're a fan of the team itself, if you've ever seen Andrew in the stadium, he's in the game.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it. And I'm glad people are able to experience seeing him and be as passionate as he is.
We've actually talked about maybe putting a GoPro as an Andrew cam for one of the games, and hopefully we're able to do that this next season. So we're excited for that.
I'm down for that. But as far as a fan goes, who are you happy to retain? Who are you looking forward to coming in? Because I know little Birdie told me, that Birdie being you in the first interview, that you also get some scouting notes, and are part of that process as well. What's exciting you about this 2022 squad?
Yeah, let's get something clear. I get notes and that's about it. I do not involve myself in the process. You know, I get told these are the players and I get very excited. You know, that is the extent of my input as far as selecting these guys go. Let's talk about retention. If you look around the league, at least for me, it has seemed like in these first 3 years that we've been on this journey, you see a lot of turnovers on rosters. And I expected in year 3 to be seeing a lot more guys on the other sideline by this point, playing for other teams, you know, like, but there's a core group of guys here that not only we want them here, they want to be here. People like Charly Adams, people like Jack Metcalf, people like Alejandro Guido. All those guys want to be here as badly as we want to retain them. So the retention of the player, and then obviously the goodwill that does for the club, those guys speak highly of the experience here. And so that allows us to recruit new players who might be wondering, what's this like? I don't want to speak for, you know, some of these younger guys that are coming through the league, but if I see somebody like Charly and Jack Blake, these guys are established USL championship players and they want to be here and they're dedicated to be here, I'd want to join that group too. So any player that we can retain is always a wonderful thing. Not having to teach a new system to somebody is always advantageous. You can get guys in right away and they're hitting the floor before running. So everybody we retained, very happy about that. There should be some more announcements as far as retention goes as well.
I think that might be breaking news. Just the fact that there might be retention, because earlier in the Darren Smith Super Marathon with Landon Donovan, that was 3 hours long. All kudos to Landon for staying there. I think he did say that there is announcements coming. That's it. But maybe okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, some fans asked me at that Stone event at the end of the season last year, what about guys like Trey Muse, these lone players that have come in and been impactful? There's not much we can do to retain a player like that.
Yeah.
As much as we enjoy their services, as much as they help the team out, it's really up to their parent clubs and what direction they want to head in, and what they're going to do in 2022. So we can't rely on stuff like that. So that's kind of a nice little segue, if you want, into a guy like Coque Vegas, right? Like, we now have a serious goal contender to go along with Austin. Let's not forget the tremendous work that Austin did last season.
Absolutely.
He's a number one as well. What I love now is we have competition. We have competition that is ours, right? It's not a lone player coming in. We're going to have those two guys and one more, and they're going to battle, and it's going to be fun to watch. So he's definitely an addition that I'm very excited to see come in. We can talk about some of the other guys that have come in. I don't know who you want to touch on. I think Evan Conway is going to be a huge addition to the group. I don't know how many people watch USL League One, but he was with Omaha. He played very well for them. He's left-footed, which is advantageous for where we want to see him on the field. He's aggressive. He's a guy that turns at goal and just attacks. And if you think with somebody like that, with Guido on one side, Toomey over there, Jack Metcalf getting back on the field, you're really going to start spreading people out, and then threaten. Evan was injured for a portion of his season last year, and he still was either not top goal scorer or second or third top goal scorer in the league. So the kid can score goals. I've asked the coaching staff, what's his biggest jump, or what's his biggest hurdle jumping from League One to the championship? Obviously, there's speed and strength, but they say not too much. They think the kid's going to be ready to make an impact early on, and that's exciting to see. I haven't got a 100% answer on this. He got a red card in the USL League One final. I don't think that carries over.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure whatever it was worth it. Let's defend our players. He's one of our own now, so we'll just give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And then, we talked about retaining players. Now that it's official, I kind of knew about it early on. Josh Yara was my MVP for this past season.
Yes.
Losing Josh, it hurts, no doubt about it, especially the way we play out of the back. His passing percentage, his ability to distribute the ball, it got better and more confident throughout the season. But this is what's going to happen at this level. If you stand out like that, people are going to see you. And of course, John Hackworth, who knows USL Championship with his time as Louisville, is sitting there in St. Louis trying to build something with their new MLS team and the MLS Next Pro team. And it's an interesting offer. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Everybody keeps asking me, what do you think about MLS Next Pro? How are they going to affect you?
Yes.
They have certain rules set up around their system. It's still going to be a bunch of young guys. They're not going to have a bunch of 23-year-old guys and over on their roster. But what they're going to do is what they offered Josh, an opportunity to start with the MLS Next Pro team with a guaranteed or possibly a guaranteed opportunity at the next level as well. And that's going to be tough to deal with, and how we navigate players like that. But losing Josh and then bringing in some of the defenders that they have, if you look at the stats that those guys have, Boxall, I'm forgetting the other one's name right now, we're trying to replace that kind of a player, right? The ability to distribute out of the back, be a threat, and still be dominant and use your size. So that's that. And then how could I forget Kyle Vassell, the most recent one that people have seen. That was very interesting. You guys heard me speak at the little Q&A we held not too long ago down at Modern Times. He was the player I was speaking about when I said there was a player with us last season training for a little bit and we couldn't get his visa issues through.
Yeah.
You guys have been to our training facility. You park at the top, and then you take that long ramp down to where the fields are.
Yes.
I remember showing up to practice one day last year, and I'm starting the walk down the ramp, and I just see a blister of a goal, like from outside the box, like no bend, straight, just killer. And I look at the guy who shot it, and he doesn't have the body build of any of our guys. And I'm like, who the heck is that? And I got pretty good eyes. And by the time I get close to the field, he's done it again. And I'm like, holy shit, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I talk to the coaching staff and I find out what's going on. And he's a friend of Charly Adams, and he was visiting San Diego, and, he came to practice with us. And we pursued it, and we tried to get the visa done before the cutoff deadline of 2021. Unfortunately, COVID delays and stuff kept that from happening. And so he wasn't able to participate last season. So we said, if you're still interested and we're still interested, come our off season, let's talk. And I said to you guys at Modern Times, Landon was out in Europe visiting some players.
Yep.
That was one of the players he was visiting. So now we just talked about Evan Conway and what he adds. Now you add on top of that somebody like Kyle Vassell, who is power and speed and seems to have a cannon on his foot. And again, you start asking questions of who you're going to cover. How are you going to handle this? If I'm somebody like Charly Adams and Jack Blake, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to get some dimes distributed to these guys this year. Just watch them work. It should be fun.
And
the timing of Kyle Vassell couldn't have been any better, because Orange County dropped the signing of Cubo Torres, who for a lot of Mexican supporters. So he a little background on him. He started with Chivas, which is our favorite soccer team.
I know a little bit about him.
So he was good. He got a little too hyped up too early at a young age. He was then going to be the next Chicharito. Right. And I feel like the fame kind of got to him, and it was a lot of pressure for a young guy. He didn't quite end up meeting that potential, and he ended up like moving to Chivas USA and then playing across MLS. It's still a pretty big signing for a USL team to a big name like that, especially for a lot of Mexican fans like ourselves. We're like, oh, Cubo Torres, USL. Wow, that's crazy. But then now you drop a video of Kyle Vassell dropping bangers like left and right at the same time, and you're like, okay, we have this guy. He's played in Europe. Yeah. And it goes to show, like you said, players wanting to play for San Diego Loyal, and they have friends. And they're like, oh, I want to play in San Diego Loyal too then.
I got friends.
So, it works out a lot. That day was Phoenix announced Evan Conway's teammate, another big goal scorer for Union Omaha, is joining Phoenix and adding to them. Like, I got to be honest, you guys, like, I've been really impressed with kind of the buildups of some of these teams. Sacramento seems to be putting it together. Orange County just needs to add and not lose people, right? Phoenix is going to be Phoenix, and we need to continue to do what we're doing. In my opinion, if you look how the playoffs went, if you watched some of the matches, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, I think the West is where it's at. I think up and down not just the coast, but the teams in the Western Conference, it's going to be fun. And that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in 2022. We're finally going to be in a regular schedule. You are going to see a full Western Conference schedule. No more of these little condensed bubbles. It was a very small one in 2020. Then it was a little bigger in 2021. And now we are a full Western Conference in 2022. Obviously minus some MLS 2 teams. But we are still in a better place than we were in the last 2 seasons, as far as I'm concerned.
And just to go a little bit back with Yarrow and stuff, like, it shows to the development that you guys have and the care that you guys have, not just for the team itself, but for these players, these individuals. Go back to Rubio Rubin, go back to even, Miguel Ibarra, who ended up staying. Like, there's a care for the development of the players. You'd hope that they'd want to stay and build something here, but you aren't going to necessarily hold them back and have that opportunity, because these players are good enough, and that speaks to the quality of the play that's happening here for San Diego Loyal. There's people, again, that we're trying, Andrew, and we're starting to explain to, like, to be honest, a lot of Spanish-speaking Mexican fans who are like, oh, well, it's this and this. It's like, no, this is quality, and we have now a whole show dedicated to trying to explain people in Spanish why they should watch San Diego Loyal.
I'm so excited.
We're actually going to record. We're recording right after another episode. Si quieres se puedes quedar. If you'd like, you could stay. And, it's up to you.
Baby.
Yeah, the baby to take care of.
That's right.
Yeah.
Darn. Got to teach
He's
that baby
sleeping.
some Spanish
He's
too. But no, like it really speaks to the league as a whole and USL as a whole, how it's growing and it's building and it's organic. And we talk a lot about that in the efforts off the field and even on the field. Like the fact that there is a loyal select program, the fact that players are wanting to come in, players that are coming to develop, players that want to be here and be better at their craft. And the fact that they have the option to do that is huge. And it speaks to the actual mission of wanting to make San Diego the soccer capital of the United States. And you're not hurting anybody by doing great stuff like this. And, you know, it starts from the top, and it starts by being knowledgeable and knowing what to look forward to. Like the questions that you're asking to the technical staff, to Landon, to Nate, to the scouts of like, hey, what does this guy do? What does this guy want to do? Like these are the questions that we would ask, and these are the questions that, you know, we see you, and I know you do, and we can tell that you care. And again, the fact that Andrew cares shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, literally anybody. But
he cares
again,
the most.
Yeah, exactly. You should, right? You should care the most, honestly. And we're there to support and care just as much too. Just, you know, maybe without the same bank account. But definitely something that is very interesting too is how people might respond and react and want to come in and play in some pretty cool threads here in San Diego. I don't know if you heard, Chiba. There was a big announcement this week.
Oh, has Andrew heard?
I don't know, Andrew. Have you heard? There's a big announcement. Oh, you heard. I'm pretty sure. You've seen San Diego Loyal official partners with Charly. Charly, a brand from Mexico, originated over there.
Nuevo
León. Let me just give a little bit of insight into a conversation that Mr. Andrew and I had. I asked a panel of unsuspecting people who had been asking, are there going to be hot dogs at Torero Stadium? What are we going to be eating? Is there going to be music? Is there, like, cool. I care what's happening on the field. Hey, guys, what are you guys going to do, first of all, to appeal to people like me, to La Raza, Spanish speaking? You wanted to answer. You and Ricardo looked at each other very deeply, like, should we say it's not time yet? All you said was there is something in the works, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. Fast forward a little bit after, you know, just kind of a little chit-chatting and kind of give me some inside information and a trust exercise, which, trust me, I thank you. I had that albatross. You had the secret. I had it a little bit too.
Good, because I got to figure out how Chappie knows. Chappie is online telling people, oh, I knew. So I got to figure out how he knew. I was going to ask if it was from you.
Nope. Trust me. He didn't even know.
Yeah.
I have trust issues in that sense. But in any case, we did have that conversation. You did give me a little bit of insight on that. And as soon as you said that, I was, yes, that's perfect. Like it shut me up. I'm a person who likes to prove me wrong, prove me wrong territory. You just completely answered that question that I had. What are you guys going to do to appeal and look after La Raza? And this is going to be a sponsorship is coming up and a brand that's going to be with us for a couple of years. Perfect. There's nothing other than perfect to describe that. How did that go down? Like, it seems like a match made in heaven. It really, really does.
Yeah, it's interesting the way you phrased it about, like, you couldn't poke any holes in it. You're like, wait a minute, this is the right decision.
Yeah. And
that's kind of how it came about. So let me start here. I'm very happy with the relationships that we have with Adidas, and we continue to have. Frank and everybody at Adidas was great to us while we were part of their crew. I don't know if you guys remember in 2020, there were the kids down at the shelter, down at the convention center. Yep. They helped us send balls down there. They did all kinds of great things with us. So very happy and proud with what we did with Adidas. And my goal when we launched was to be with the big brand that spoke to the community and said, this is legitimate, this is real. I didn't want to start with a second, or third tier brand. So it had to be a Nike or an Adidas, maybe a Puma or something like that. But then once we got into the relationship and we had created this wonderful crest with several different colors to it, and the main color being Tory green, and we hammered people, this is our color, this is our color, this is our color. and then tried to go to Adidas to get that color, we were met with some roadblocks. We just aren't a big enough club at this point to enter into Adidas like full customization. That's one roadblock. Two, the turnaround time for them was quite long. Some of their MLS stuff that they do, it takes them 2 years to turn around a jersey. That's not what we were looking for. We didn't have that kind of time to do something special. So we launched some very basic, as far as colors go, if you look at our white jersey, it's a white jersey with 3 orange stripes and our Stone, logo on the front. But I'm looking around the league, I'm looking around the world, and you see all these great things and unique jerseys coming out, like very specific to the club. And there was just a desire to do something like that. Like, how do we make this more authentic to San Diego? How do we stand out? In 2021, Orange County came out with the same exact orange jersey that we were wearing, except with blue stripes.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen again. I wanted to do something more specific to our brand and to our city. So then we said, okay, if it can't be Adidas, will any of the other big brands be able to do it? No, the answer was very similar across the board. And we kept hearing from Adidas, we'll get you Torrey Green, we'll get it. And we saw a couple swatches, but nothing ever really close enough. So then, reflecting on what I said at the beginning here, like, was it worth stepping down? Who would we go with? Is it an Umbro? Is it a Hummel? Yeah. Is it a Capelli? And there's customizations in those brands, but I couldn't get comfortable with any of them. And then we came and said, wait a minute, what's right here that we're not looking at? And we started looking at Charly, and then I started digging into it, and I said, man, I keep hearing from our fan base, how do we represent the Latinx community here in San Diego? And we have Leaus and Muros, and we do some great work with the Chicano Federation. And we're trying to prove ourselves in every way, that we're part of that community. But here was a way to say we are embracing a brand that is trying to do great work in their own backyard and expand themselves. Once we had kind of narrowed in on Charly and we started having those initial conversations, then some other layers of the onion unpeeled, we find out that they're interested in getting into the market in the US. Beautiful. They can't go into MLS because they're all with Adidas. So they have to look to the USL Championship. And they kind of said the same thing that I was saying. I don't want to step down. I have to be with somebody legitimate. Yeah. And they looked at us and said, here it is. A club led by Landon Donovan, a club that tries to be different. They saw what we did in 2020 and what we stood for. And they said, this is the club that we want to launch the brand with with Charly USA. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking, okay, Mexican brand, like you said, starts in Leon. They have some facilities in Tijuana. They dress more teams in Liga MX than any of the big brands do, Nike, Puma, any of the other ones. Maybe they don't have the biggest clubs, some would say, but they are there. They're doing unique kits that are passionate, that the fan bases are passionate about, that the communities get behind. And then when we sat down and started talking to them, the turnaround time was months, not years. We asked to see Torrey Green. We got it in a week. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm talking about holding the fabric up to our crest, and that's it. It's it. Like, we're done.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
So, and then like you said, I'm trying to poke holes in it. I'm like, why would we not do this?
It's too good to be
true.
Why
would we? Right. And so then, like I said, timing became a big thing too. MLS has the All-Star game in LA at LAFC. And MLS All-Stars are dressed by Adidas, and Charly is dressed by, Liga MX is dressed by Charly. On that weekend, Charly announced Charly USA, which is going to launch their first stores in the US. I think Los Angeles is going to be the first place they have them. From my understanding, I hear there's going to be a kiosk as well at a mall in Chula Vista that will be Charly. So not only are our jerseys going to be available on the shop online in our own store, we are now going to be available in every Charly store that opens up here in the US. We're going to be in every Charly store that's in Mexico.
Yes.
We weren't doing that with any other brand. Yeah. We are now, and this one I really like, we will now be on soccer.com. all the
Hell
big.
yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
remember in 2020, people from other countries wanted to buy our jerseys, but the shipping costs were more than the jersey was,
Astronomical.
2-3 times. So they couldn't do it. Now we can get people jerseys around the world. They just can go to these major websites and find it. I don't know if we've announced there's another. I don't want to blow it. I don't want to get Travis get upset at me.
Okay.
But there's a big sporting goods store that is going to carry because of Charly's relationship as well.
Oh, wow.
That's another place we would not have been in if we were not with them. And for 2022, like I said in the tweet and like we said in the press release, we are the only club in the United States that will be wearing their gear. Obviously, the following year, they're going to try to go after other clubs and grow their brand, which they should do. And we will just always have a great relationship with them. And then, I can just keep going, man. Like,
and sorry to interrupt. I know you have more, so it's just load it up.
Yeah.
As you're adding to this deal that just again seems a little too good to be true. You try to poke holes, and it just keeps being more solid. There's no weaknesses in anything that you've said. The fact that San Diego Loyal is going to be represented in Charly stores across, not just here, Charly USA, but in Mexico. Mexicans love their cool jerseys at this point, and they can go ahead and and just
everyone in Mexico knows where San Diego is at.
Yeah, it's right next to Tijuana. It's el equipo de Tijuana, like pretty much. Like it's
And we've built the relationship with Cholos already, but I'm just going to call them conversations. They're nothing more than that at this point. But we've had conversations with Charly about how do we do preseason tours? Do we bring San Diego Loyal down to Leon and down to some other of the Charly teams and go down there? Do we bring them up to Chula Vista and host games in bigger stadiums and have like a preseason showcase? So again, a relationship that goes beyond just selling jerseys and being a kit partner. It's how do we grow the brand for San Diego Loyal, and how does Charly grow its brand in North America and get more people excited about it? I'm sure there's for every Latinx fan that knows Charly, there's probably 20 other fans that don't know them.
Yeah.
And so we get to build that relationship and tell their story. When the kit reveals do happen, Charly's putting some weight behind it. They want it to be good. It's a big deal for them. So it's just going to be great. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
I mean, now that we're on it, I know we have to, we wouldn't be doing our due diligence. Is there a date? I mean,
there's a date.
Okay.
I'm just not going to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, we try, guys. We try San Diego.
Andrew.
It's in the coming weeks.
Yeah, Andrew, let me just tell you, as a long life fan of Liga MX, not just Chivas, but the game itself. Lifelong. Sorry, my English is not very good. But when I started seeing the Charly brand being more common in teams, like you mentioned, maybe they don't have the biggest team. They have Atlas, the current champions of Liga MX, and they're a big club as well. But for San Diego Loyal, for your team to be the first ever professional soccer team in the United States to have that brand is something special. And like you said, they held the Tory green color, and it's something that everyone's been wanting. Can we get an official, like it's been, you mentioned it on Twitter, can we get an official, like, Tory green is coming next season, like something like along those lines?
It's the first thing you're going to see.
Beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful.
Along with my cat cleaning herself.
Oh, look at that. We are a pet-friendly podcast here. Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
We had Alan's dogs yesterday.
We had Alan's dogs joined us yesterday. That was fun. But no, that's wonderful. I mean, why not start with a bang? So home.
But let me say this.
Yes.
Oh, there's more. Like you're gonna see.
But wait.
But then there's more.
Like the ghost of Billy Mays is showering us with gifts. But wait, there's more. Yeah. Hit us, Andrew.
No, I mean.
Oh. he said, no, you gotta wait.
I can't tell you.
Yeah, you gotta wait, Tony.
I thought it was gonna work.
No, you're gonna be excited more than one time this season as far as jerseys go.
That is wonderful. And again, I don't even know where to go, right? Like with the designs of it, because of the just creative color palette, just everything that Charly brings is exciting. And again, it's gonna be that bridge to, maybe even partnerships with teams that have Charly for players, right? Like
Yeah.
it may be a little far fetched to think, but just because you wear the same sort of uniform, a player or player's
Chance of
agent might be
loan.
like, oh, I didn't know that they were partners with them.
Yeah.
We'll go
May-
look
may-
You
over
don't think
there.
I'm going to be passing out business cards and meeting people when we,
Yes.
if and when we get to do these trips? And absolutely, why would you not build those relationships?
I've told you this before, Andrew. The first time we had you on the pod, there's a lot of young Mexican talent in Liga MX they do not get a lot of playing time.
I mean, I got a lot of playing time during the halftime show of the Soccers. I mean, I wouldn't
So
necessarily
I have
say
the video. I just haven't watched it yet. I can't wait. I want to see it. I want to see I've seen the clips, but I'm like, I got to see the whole thing.
also,
So I
Tony,
got
this
my
is your
hands
chance.
on it. So I'm like, all right, I got to watch this now.
yeah, no, I mean,
This is your chance.
I
You
know
gotta
there's
shoot your shot.
open tryouts, but
You gotta shoot your shot.
the way
Tony has one goal in mind.
the way my my bank
Don't
account
get
set
shy
up.
now. Don't
No,
get shy
I mean,
now.
no, the goal is at this point is to get that 1 day contract with either San Diego Loyal or the San Diego Soccers. If I get that 1 day contract, therefore it is a technicality that I can say I was a former professional, not semi-pro, a former professional soccer player. So, I'm just laying it out there. I've talked with some of the Soccers people, and they're sending their offers. So I mean, where else than to go to the top for San Diego Loyal? So I know you're close with certain people at that club and San Diego Loyal too. So
Do you have the right phone numbers?
You
Yeah.
guys gotta snatch him up before Phoenix sends an offer.
I will declare right now, I will never step foot in a Phoenix uniform or pitch. I don't care what they offer. I don't care what they offer. So you got that promise from me, Andrew.
Got it.
But no, again, huge announcement. Has there been any reaction? I know that, obviously you just went to the owners meeting over in Florida, and I know you're, very well connected and outspoken sometimes. But has there been any reaction from the league, other owners about this announcement? Have you been hit up by some people about it?
About Charly, no. But when we were down at those winter meetings, I think we shared on social media. For the first year, they gave out impact awards.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done that before. There's 6 possible awards that they can hand out. We walked away with 3 of them. So that's something to be really proud about. And people were talking about that when we were down there. We came back with Community Engagement Award, Impact Player of the Year to Colin Martin, and then Impact Club of the Year, which I'm the most proud of. It's the highest total vote of all the other categories combined gets you that one. So it's an incredible feat for us in year 2 to be recognized at that high of a level. The league also does what they call their best 11 of employees throughout the league.
Oh, wow.
Louisville cleaned up. I mean, I want to say like 7 of the 11 or more were all Louisville employees. So maybe a little home cooking there or something was going on. But we had 3, if not 4, employees nominated from Stephanie and Tickets. I think Nick was up for one as well. So just to see our own people get recognized as well. And then the way we carried ourselves down at those meetings, we take most of all of the executive team that could make it. Landon couldn't make it. And they break off into different groups throughout the 2 to 3 days that they're down there, talk about best practices, things they're looking forward to doing. And I really tasked the group with drive the meetings, make San Diego Loyal known in those rooms, share what's working with us, share why we do things differently. And I really feel that they made their impact as they were, making the rounds. And then we had our big board of governors meetings with all the owners to discuss how things went, and what to expect coming up in the next couple of years. Probably the most interesting thing that came out of that is they're starting to discuss about VAR a little bit. So that should be interesting.
You said no, Andrew. You said no, right?
What's that?
You said no, right? You said no VAR?
Well, there was no vote. There wasn't even really a discussion. They just kind of talked about it, said, hey, we're looking at this. Just wanted to let you guys know, kind of a thing. Just to be clear, it would not be full-blown English EPL VAR where they're drawing lines up to a centimeter. It's really goal decisions, big penalties, stuff like that. They feel from the research that they've done, 80% of the mistakes made in our league would be cleaned up with the version of VAR that they're looking at. So nothing is happening. It was just interesting that was discussed. Another thing I'll share that I thought was exciting to hear. San Diego Loyal was the #1 watched team in the league last year.
Oh wow!
If you combined the ESPN Plus numbers and the local terrestrial numbers together, we were the #1 watched club. So that's great from a fan perspective. It's also great to be able to go to our partners and say, hey, your product, your logo, your whatever is being seen. So we need to continue to do that. I can't really share the numbers outside of that. It is kind of fun. ESPN gives you very little of the data. I wish we could collect more. But I was like, oh, hey, look at that. San Diego Loyal, they showed the chart. Chart, we were at the top. I was like, all right, I'll take it. So good things coming out of those meetings. Sometimes I feel like I wish we got more done in some of them, but they're good to have. I missed out on the mid-season meetings this past year, so I need to be more present as well. I just couldn't make it to that one. But chatter around the league about San Diego is strong. There's definitely some clubs that came up and said some great things about us and vice versa. I'm really proud of the stuff that Oakland's doing. Those impact awards that we got, we can't get them next year. You can't win 2 years in a row. So I look forward to see who's going to get it next year. Like you said, there's some good work, there's some good soccer, but there's also some really good work being done around the league by several of the teams. New Mexico does some great things as well.
How is their relationship right now with Yetland? I know he's still a part owner. How much conversation is there with him? How did he send already a reaction with the Charly deal?
Was he at Florida? Took a little bit of time from Istanbul. Like, yeah, I'll be back, guys. Got to go to Florida.
He's in the thick of it like I am. He had a baby as well.
Oh wow!
In October. Congrats. So I have not heard from him in a little bit. I will share a little story about DeAndre. He called towards the very end of the season when it was too late to do anything about it. He's like, man, I didn't think about this soon enough, but I should have just came and finished the season with you guys. Because his European season finished, before ours was done. We had several months, then a few months left. And then as the season went on and he was sitting there, he had called one, I forget who he talked to. It wasn't me that he said that to. But yeah, that was interesting.
Boy. Right when we needed a right back too.
Yeah.
We had Elijah playing on the right.
You threw Ibarra there too, because he needed to go down there sometimes. That would have been a first
maybe this season now.
Part owner, part player. Like it's usually part, like a coach player, but that would have been a very interesting dynamic. But guess what?
That happens. Landon's about to be having a uniform underneath.
No,
I'm subbing on now.
No,
anything is possible. That's wild. That is crazy to even think about it. Okay. Yeah. Well, if there's space for him, he's gonna have to try out like anybody else on January 21st.
I thought you were gonna say he has to get in line behind me.
Probably not.
I think he has the fast pass on that one.
Yeah, I think I can go to the tape and pull it up.
Good player. Yeah. But in any case,
can I say something about the tryouts?
100%.
I'm going to pretend like these people are listening to this podcast. They probably aren't. For all you people, all you guys who hit my inbox on Instagram, on Twitter, saying, give me a spot. I'm good enough. This is my time. Here is your opportunity. Quit hitting up my inbox, fill out the form, show up, and we'll see how it goes. I'm really proud that we do those tryouts. I think there is fruit to be gained there. We just need to find the right pieces. It doesn't mean that every year we're going to find something, but we'd be silly not to continue to look at it. Obviously, we're building Loyal Select, so we're starting to get some of these kids before they would ever make it to an open tryout for San Diego Loyal. So that's a big thing we have, to work on in the future.
We'll clip that up and we'll make that a separate post.
It's promo because again,
announcement.
There's very limited spaces from what I do here, and if at this point you're not signed up, that should tell you a little bit about yourself, right? But here is the announcement, just in case. You never know. 21st open tryouts, and again, this is a chance for San Diegans. If not this year, maybe next year. This is there. I know for a fact we were talking about Austin Guerrero. We saw Austin Guerrero there last year at the tryouts as he was giving some wisdom, all buffed up and yoked up. I didn't even recognize who he was. He was walking sideways like. Gee,
I think he's gonna be even bigger now, dude. All I see him do is post in the gym. He's always in the gim.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he's trying to get you out there too. He tagged you if you did your squats.
He actually did.
He did. I saw that.
I mean, well, it was like, I need it. The body is a temple.
Start doing your squats,
and there's been mileage on it, and there's a limited amount of games. Maybe perhaps a San Diego Loyal front office versus supporter / media game. How about that, Andrew? You're gonna lace them up?
I want it so bad. We will make that happen.
Yes.
You guys are gonna keep making Tony famous with this.
I mean,
the fame is getting to his head now,
if anything, Shannon McMillan just wants blood at this time. She's not gonna hold back. Like she's not.
See, this is what I mean. I gotta watch the video. I gotta see why.
She was up. I'll tell you this. When we walked into the locker room, I think I said one thing too many. Like she's like, "Oh, you guys had an extra player." As we're taking the group photo, I just look over. I don't count for 2, Shannon, just because I'm big. And she did not. She was like, nah,
before you watch that clip, it's not fair to have me in the back against Sal Ciso. I'm just gonna say that.
It looks like he held his own in pictures,
but
those are still pictures. But no, it was.
I tried my best. He's still. He destroyed everyone.
Professional athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, former professional athlete. Let's not forget he's retired. Come on. A
few months ago.
But no, that's great. We do hear a lot about good efforts moving forward. Charly Brand with appealing to San Diego to gente como yo, people like me, and I guess people not like me too. It appeals to everybody. Yeah. But is there any concerted efforts to moving forward to appeal to the San Diegan, like the average San Diegan sports fan? Because there's a lot of people that we can still get to. I see some San Diego Loyal jerseys getting sent to rappers sometimes, to 311. I love that one.
1904 lost
that one.
1904 lost a lot of fans with that. Oh, Albion San Diego.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I guess
we know who won that war. But no, is there any concerted efforts or strategies that you guys are thinking of, or that you would like to see to try to appeal to those regular San Diegans?
Yeah, so the 1886 initiative that started this past season will continue, every season, to be honest. And I think that's a tremendous opportunity to highlight the different parts of our community and get into the community and get those people who may not drive by USD or drive by our signage and billboards and stuff like that, or our office, and know that we exist. I know one of the cities we will honor next season is Carlsbad, right? People probably that far up North County don't know too much about us. So it's our job to get in the community and reach out to them there. There's some cool merch stuff that I can't talk about yet that we will try to work on to get more people. And then I think the biggest thing, to be honest with you guys, is we got to get people into the stadium, right? You don't have to be a soccer fan to have a wonderful time at one of our matches. And that's what I think clicks with new fans when they come, whether they're soccer fans or not. They show up and they enjoy the entire experience from when they get through the ticket gate, through the match, and then on their way out. Once we get those people in, and then they come again, and then the third time they start asking soccer questions, and they want to know how offsides works, and they want to learn the game. That's how we try to capture, those individuals. We obviously will continue to, be on all kinds of different media platforms, whether it's local or social or whatever. We will continue to do more events in the community. One of the things Ricardo and I are talking about is buying like a merch truck that we can take around to different events, so we can put San Diego Loyal around San Diego and not, rely on people to come to the merch mansion. I think there's some good things in the works. Hiring Shannon and having her kind of drive the community aspect of it with her relationships with the different clubs in town, with the different groups in town, everything we're trying to do. I think we have the right pulse on who we want to get to in San Diego.
there is a lot of growth for this club, and it's impressive the amount of growth that's already happened, and a lot of the intentional growth, and that's something that's special about San Diego Loyal. I feel, you know, above any professional, you know, sports team in America. That's unique. Even now, you know, we've had a little bit of experience going down to Cholos and you know, exposing ourselves to Liga MX and how they run things, and it's, you know, it's a machine. It's a business at the end of the day, but it's a business with a heart. And it's like the Iron Giant. You ever watch the Iron Giant?
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's you know what? Yeah, it's a fantastic film. Fantastic. It's recommended. But, you know, it's that Iron Giant, the big metal machine that does at the end have a heart, and it's a heart of gold, and not afraid to prove it. Not afraid to prove it day in, day out. We had a conversation about Ricardo Campos and how, you know, he was the interim, and we were all rooting for him, and how we all wanted to see somebody like him succeed in that role. And I guess he did something right, a couple things right to get it. Now, President Ricardo Campos, you know, now that he has this title under his belt, I know he's been working like a madman.
He was before, by the way.
Yes,
he was before.
Hardest work. He's painting lines before the games. Like, it's impressive. Like, just the work ethic of this guy. And he has kids too. Like, sometimes I forget. It's like he has his own kids. I'm like, Bato, like, what
they're
are you
little
doing?
too. It's not like they're teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's a very big family atmosphere. I mean, tell us about you work with him a little bit directly. How is he now in this new role going to benefit? How is he going to benefit himself, and how is he going to aportar? What is aportar in English? How is he going to contribute? Contribute.
That's the
for
first
the growth.
an English word for you.
I know, it's wild.
First.
It's usually the other way now. How is he going to contribute for the growth of San Diego Loyal moving forward?
Yeah. So when he had the interim title, one of the things that I felt was there was instability in our front office, right? People were looking for direction. I came in and I spoke to the group and I said, hey, you're going to see more of me. I'm going to make sure that we get on the right track. But at the moment, Ricardo Campos is your interim president, and we'll see how that works out. While he's interim president, I'm going to go on a full-on search for presidential candidates. But nothing would make me happier than to take the interim title off of Ricardo. What I see from Ricardo is a tactician, somebody who plans and is thoughtful and figures out how to get it done, make sure he's there early, puts in the work. So that stuff I knew he could do. The next thing that really solidified it for me was the rest of the room, from the rest of the executive team to the sales team to ambassadors. When I said, here's your interim president, they said, okay, I can follow this man. And when I started interviewing different employees around the office, and I said, do you think he could be it? Do you think Ricardo's the right person? Nobody said no. Nobody said no. You know, everybody said, this is the guy that I think can lead us forward. Now, was that what led me to the final decision? No, but it's a huge thing when everybody in the room is saying, here's the guy that I want to work for. So then there was that. Then when he took on the role, I said, okay, let's see how he handles it. One of the things that impressed me the most is he didn't pretend like he knew everything from jump, right? If something wasn't working or if he didn't understand, he came and asked questions. Why were we doing it like this before? You know, how are we going to work forward? So that vulnerability was huge to me. He didn't just try to say, hey, oh, Andrew, I got this. And then all of a sudden there's 10 new holes and we're trying to fill those and everything's falling apart because he just wanted to pretend like he knew what he was doing, you know? So then he showed me he could do the work. I hope he doesn't get upset if he hears me say this, but he knows this. I've talked to him. My biggest challenge to him is how will he do in those big rooms with the mayor, with people that we're trying to influence to get bigger things done?
Yes.
One of the things that I really want to work on this coming year is practice facility.
Yes.
I really want to open our own practice facility. we have a great relationship with the Chula Vista Elite Training Center. But if we want to build out Loyal Select and really do academy and do some other big things that we want to do, then we need to start owning a piece of it and start running it through our own building and providing a full-blown locker room and showers and cafeteria and stuff like that for our players. Because that's also happening around our league, right? Louisville's doing stuff like that. And we want to attract the best players, so we got to provide them the best things. So my challenge to him is, Ricardo, I know you can do the game day operation. I know that everybody in this office has got your back and wants to work for you, but can you go get these bigger things done that I want done, right? We've got stadium stuff that we need to get done.
Yes.
So that's the challenge that's in front of him. He sees it, he knows it, he accepts it, and he's working his ass off. And I'm proud of the work that he's doing.
Is there anything, because again, the direction that the club itself, office and on field is heading is great. Is there anything that you would like the fans, listeners, the media, anything that you want us to do, anything that we can do better, anything that you saw from last year and say, okay, this is great, but let's step it up, or something that, you know, it feels a hole that needs to be filled, or something that needs to be improved in that sense?
No, I'm so proud of what you guys do. You know, I'm talking all the podcasts, what the fan base does on their own, what the fan base does with us when we say, you know, we've got this charitable thing going on, or we've got this beach cleanup, or we've got this going on. One of the things we heard at Modern Time was, we love that you asked for help. We just need more time so that we can find the time in our schedule. That blew me away, right? They said, how can we help more?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will never, I said this when we came back in 2021, that 2020 season with no fans made you appreciate what fans are all about. So I will never take for granted the group of people that support the club. I will ask this, you've heard me say it, tell 5 people who don't know about us we exist, right? Yeah. And then, you guys do this very well. I'm not going to ask the casual fan to do this. But when you hear people say, it's minor league, it's this, it's that, we need to combat that. We need to work with that. I love everything the San Diego Wave is doing. The one thing that they can do that we can't do is they have the best players in the world at that level, right? Yeah. And Alex Morgan, I can't sign Weston McKennie. That's the caliber that they have over there. So we need to continue to be authentic to our fan base and let them carry the flag and wave it for us. That's what I think we've done really, really well. I think it's what you were speaking to, Tony, of yes, we're an organization that's trying to run at the highest level, but we lead with our heart and we allow the fans to drive this thing and take it to where they want to go. The Charly announcement yesterday and the fan base really embracing that showed me, one, that we're listening, that we're hearing what they want, and 2, they trust us to make the right choices. And then when we make those choices, they amplify it. The amount of people that retweeted it or said something great about the launch yesterday, we didn't ask them to do that. They're doing that because they love what we're doing. So they need to continue doing that. We need to continue getting the word out that we're here and that we need to be taken seriously. And then, like I said, we as an organization need to continue to do things that will cement ourselves here. Practice facility, stadium solution, more community work, the small-sided pitches that I've talked about that we still want to do around the community. All those things to show San Diego that, this isn't a flash in the pan, and that we care about our people and that we want the best for San Diego.
And that's the message to tell people, like you said, that it's not MLS.
It's a professional goddamn club with professional quality.
You have the chance,
play.
And I've told this to people, you have the chance to support this team from the start.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you later in the future when the team is bigger and say, I've always been a loyal fan since day one. No. It starts now.
Yeah, it's like before.
It started 2 years ago.
Before or after the back-to-back championship wins. I don't know. When did you hop on, huh?
Yeah.
If you can encapsulate and just try. I know we've talked a lot about what we're looking forward to. But what excites you the more? The one thing that excites you the most of 2022. It can be anything on the field, on the plate. But if you just say this is the one thing that I wake up and I'm like, yes, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's one thing I can't talk about, so we can't go there.
Damn it. It's all good.
But it goes back to something I said earlier. Hopefully by March or by April, we're in a better place with this virus and we can start traveling a little bit more. My desire is to go to a lot more away matches this year. The fact that we're in a full-blown Western Conference, like I just said, stadium and other things, training facilities. I want to go check out what some of these other teams and ownership groups have done. Colorado Springs just built a new stadium. Other places have built practice facilities. Monterey Bay is coming into the league for the first time.
Yeah.
I want to check out Oakland. I didn't get the opportunity to do that last year, although we can talk about their pitch. But I still love everything they're doing outside of that. Here's great. So like, I'm really happy that we brought back cross-conference play, right? Last year was the first time the league had ever done that. The fact that we can go across the East and play Birmingham, play New York Red Bulls, I think that's a good thing for the league. Tampa Bay, these teams need to play one another at least, every other year or so often so we can see. I want to see how we look against Tampa, right? Like that's
Absolutely.
your Eastern Conference champion from last year.
Yeah.
It's a great litmus test to see where we are.
And that's a goal we have this season too.
Yeah, it's our
going to
New
more
Year's
away
resolution is to actually go to a little bit more away games. We were there at Orange County. We
want to go to Phoenix.
Want to go to Phoenix. I want to go to Phoenix is strong.
You got to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down. I'm down. You're a degenerate gambler,
my
Chivas.
hands are shaking.
You won 8,000 pesos in like 20 minutes the other day. We were down TJ. It was wild.
What do you play, Chiva?
I like playing poker, Texas Hold'em, but the poker room was closed, so they had a card game called Ultimate Texas Hold'em, where it's you against a dealer.
I know it.
So I did pretty good.
So
Got back-to-back flush.
I mean, you're standing now into a newly reformed Raider fan that has gone to a couple of games over there. I
have not gone to a game yet.
Oh, you haven't gone to a game? Oh man,
you gotta check out that stadium.
Yeah,
that stadium is amazing.
I'm excited to. I can't wait. You're just with the new baby and everything. The timing was not right now.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I want to check out a football game there. I got to see Mexico against the U.S. for the Gold Cup final.
How did that go?
I don't speak about it.
Oh.
I went to our Vegas away game, one of our Vegas away games last year, and it's not a pretty stadium, but you got to go check it out.
Was it the water balloon game?
Yeah, the water balloon game. I was at that one.
So, do you play card games? Were you there? Do you dabble?
So my father and grandfather were big time players, but they were craps players. So I grew up learning well, I didn't really learn craps from them. I watched them play craps. They don't really allow you close to the table.
Yeah.
But my grandfather, this is going to sound terrible. My grandfather used to sit at the table with my sister and I when we were little kids and play blackjack with us, with like stacks of pennies and stuff. So his favorite place was Las Vegas. I can go on for hours about this. But craps is where I have the most fun. Blackjack is probably where I will spend most of my time and make most of my money.
Smart man.
You do not want to play that game with me, craps. I roll a lot of sevens. The number that should not be named. I hate it.
Well, that's okay. You just got to know that and bet against you instead of betting with you.
Yes,
that's
what I need to do.
One of the things I like about craps outside of the other games, and we can sound like a bunch of degenerate gamblers right now.
Let's do it. Speaking my language.
If you sit at third base at a blackjack table, which is the last seat before the dealer, if you don't know what you're doing, you can kill everybody else's hands and lose people a bunch of money.
Yes.
And there are times when the table can get upset. People get upset. I'm not one of those people, but it gets very uncomfortable when stuff like that happens. That does not happen at the craps table because you're on your own and everybody else is betting on their own, and they can be betting with the table or against the table. So it's a much more familiar and everybody's kind of rooting for one another, whether you're winning or losing. Exactly. Unlike some of the other tables, which can get a little nasty at times.
Yeah. And that's why I like sitting at a poker table, because you're really not playing against the casino. You're playing against other people. You're playing the people on that table. So
See, I can't do that. I have so many tells, and I can't oh man, I can't do it.
Hey, what about San Diego Loyal Casino night for charity?
oh man,
How
wow.
does that sound?
You're gonna have my whole paycheck if you do that.
We'll all bring our little bags of pennies. Trust me, no, we do that too. We in our family we played poker and blackjack. We used to play with pesos. Dimes is a peso. Quarters is like 2.5 pesos, and you know, it's just a hoot. Like good old family times. Grandpas, shout out grandpas.
San Diego
Shout out grandpas.
Loteria night. Wow.
Loteria bingo night. I'm down for that. But no, that's great. And you know, just touching on a little bit, another one of your favorite games and types of games and sports to watch. We have a direct line to Checo Perez based on our nationality. And he would like to say you're welcome to your boy, Max Verstappen, for what ended up happening in probably one of the most exciting F1 seasons of all time. Oh, my goodness.
My
What did
cousin
you
was
think?
out there.
Your cousin was out there?
Cousin was out there.
I think
Yeah.
you were out there. Did you end up going to Austin?
God, no. Remember, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
see, this is such a
Baby,
foreign
come on,
concept to
dude.
me. Like, my puppy was fine. Like, you know, the cat can take care of itself better than
Exactly.
anybody, probably.
You gotta imagine the people at Netflix are just over the moon. Like they're
Yes. Just frothing at the mouth. Like,
yeah,
oh,
that was
man.
one of the craziest finishes. But yes, like this has been the one thing that I've said against Red Bull that has been the problem the whole time is they didn't have a 2 driver on that team that could help Max in these times. And it's, you know, as much as it's an individual sport, there are times where having a teammate can be advantageous to you. You know, there will be people, and you need to have the virtual stat man on to get into more depth in this, but there are people that will say, you know, it was the FIA that gave it to him, the stewards that gave him the victory.
No, Michael, no.
We can have that argument. But what's insane to me is just the way the sport has just taken off across this country.
Yeah.
You know, next year is the introduction of the first Grand Prix in Miami. I will be down there for that.
Sweet.
So I forget what the numbers are, but if you looked at the numbers for that final race on TV, it's just insane. The Netflix series did so well that's why you saw HBO do Hard Knocks in the season this year
Yes.
with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
The same people who do the Netflix F1 show are now doing a Netflix golf show. And not only are something like 20 golfers signed up, but every major tournament from Augusta, which is usually a very private venue, has opened up and said, come and film. It's crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy what has happened for Formula One. And then just now what has happened for these digital shows that can kind of explode your brand. You know, it's crazy.
Ted Lasso. Are you a Ted Lasso guy?
Hell yeah. How could you not be?
I'm just
Are you?
I'm starting it. I was hesitant.
Come on,
and you know
dude.
what? I was
Come
actually
on,
validated
man.
by one Landon Donovan who hadn't watched it and then went on holiday and just, I guess, burned season 1. So now it gives me that impetus to want to say, all right, I'll give it a shot.
It's a good
I was
show.
going to say, I don't know if I'm going to Landon for my TV and movie advice.
That's very true. That's very true.
I need to know, is the baby going to be a soccer fan or an F1 fan? Which one are you hoping for?
That's funny that you asked. I keep saying to Elizabeth, like, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him in some driving lessons. We have to start soon. You have to start at like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Sean Kelly says, don't do it. It's just a money pit. You'll just burn a bunch of money. I would love for him to play soccer. I would love for him to play golf. I would love for him to dance. Whatever the hell he wants to do, I'm going to support that. But if it's soccer, so be it. Obviously, he's going to be around some soccer.
Yeah.
So he's going to see it. I think he's going to fall in love with it. I hope he falls in love with it. But I will let him choose his own path on what he wants to do.
I love that. That's the way to go, man. Like, there's just support them, whatever that it is they want to do, but always make sure to do your homework and follow the grades, because I'm pretty sure that has to be first, right? You know, it's the Shaq mentality. It's you want some of my money, you gotta give me 2 degrees. 2 degrees. No, but it's wonderful to hear, man. I do want to say I'm really excited for this next year. This is going to be a fantastic year for soccer here in San Diego all around, but specifically to San Diego Loyal, because there is that precedent now set. Like the soccer community, I think, has been captivated in San Diego, and there is so much more to grow, and that's what's very much exciting. You have,
I mean, it's grown significantly, even more from last year.
You've shrunk significantly. Like the more the soccer grows, the more you shrink. Have you noticed that?
No,
we'll keep it up.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Oh yeah. But no,
I'm excited to finally buy a San Diego Loyal kit.
Yes,
I haven't bought one yet, and I told you, I have a feeling something's like they're gonna drop a new kit soon.
You don't have to reveal anything, Andrew. Which kit should he buy? Home, away, or third?
If there's a third,
I think there is. That's all you have to say. Like, which one should Chiva buy? You know what? I'll buy it for you.
Well,
no, you won't.
With your money. But
no, with my money.
I think he's got to go Torrey Green if it's the first one.
That's what's up. Yep. I like that. I like that.
I'm going to buy all three. I'm going to buy all three.
Hard. That's really hard.
I'm buying all three. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah. Hey, I like that. I like that from you. But
we did hear there's going to be, in the U.S., it's going to go up to 3X. Some people were concerned.
It is.
A lot of our people.
Our people. Okay, yeah. I'm about to say, Mr. XL.
A little larger here in
2XL.
America. And I know in Mexico, my brother's very upset because Cholos runs to a 2X. So that's good. 3X. Yeah. You're excited.
Right. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for another run of goalie jerseys that is, proprietary, hopefully, and has the same amount of respect as that first kit had. Like, it's wild, the fact that they allowed a different crest or different shape in the middle for Stone. But in any case, we want to say giant thank you, Andrew, again, for your time. You have so much going on. You got a child in that house that's brand new, all power to you. But is there anything that you want to say once again to the people that are listening? Because like it or not, there's people listening now, apparently. Yes. But there's a lot of people that are listening that are not necessarily concerned, but excited and hopeful and like hearing from the top of the front office, because again, you guys are so open and we cannot thank you enough for that.
No, absolutely. Like I said, the support is tremendous and it is always greatly appreciated. I forget who it was. I wish I could remember who exactly tweeted this, but it was a great encapsulation of what I'm hoping people see. I'm paraphrasing now, but it said something like this. It was difficult in 2020 through a pandemic to see what the vision of San Diego Loyal was going to be. But like you said, I think it's pretty clear to people in 2022, the direction that we're headed, what's expected, the bar that we set both at the front office and down at the practice facility for those guys. The message should be clear to people on what we stand for at this point. So happy to continue to grow our fan base, continue to find the pockets of San Diego that don't know about us, continue to reach out and show love to the soccer community who is going to be there for us game in and game out. Continue to listen like we did at Modern Times. We're going to do some more listening sessions coming up and listen to different people, right? I love seeing the diehard groups, but I also want to talk to some soccer moms. I want to talk to some people who don't know about us yet, or who are hesitant to come to us, or who, want to say, how does the crest speak to me? Like they have before. So we will continue to be open. We will make mistakes. I'm sure of it. That's a part of this process. But as long as we don't make continued mistakes and we learn from them, I think we're headed in the right direction. I'm really excited for the product on the field. We still got to prove it. We can win the off season, but that doesn't mean a damn thing. We got to step onto the field and prove that we can beat these teams and win a Western Conference title, and then see what happens after that. So like you guys said, it's crazy. We're weeks away from preseason.
Yes.
Yes. Players are reporting on the 26th and we get going in February. Yeah. I know you guys have seen, we moved the match on the Whitecaps. We got off of Super Bowl Sunday. It's now on Saturday night. So that's going to help out with that game, the game against Cholos. It's coming. and then we go. And then the regular season starts in March. March 12th is the opener against LA Galaxy 2. And then my anxiety ramps up for the next 6 months. And you guys can stick a camera on me one game, and we'll ride this wild ride that is the USL Championship.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Mr. Andrew Vassiliadis, thank you once again for your time. If you do me a favor and just stick around, because we got some follow-ups just for you. But again, what else do you want, Chiva? This is going to be exciting. I'm ready for it. And
come out and support San Diego Loyal preseason. Yeah. In the middle of the season.
Preseason, middle of the season, playoffs, everything. Just support local soccer, and it's going to grow, and it's going to happen. It's happening. It's already happening.
Yeah, it's already here.
So thank you, Andrew, for everything that you do for San Diego and the soccer community. Couldn't thank you enough. We'll see you out there in Torero.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Perfect.